Greetings, programs. Welcome to the grid. I am Sark, and today our game is the speeder bike. We're back at it. I'm going to take a look at some of these sorts of little control surfaces. I thought they would be really easy. I thought I would get a video off last week, and they turned out to be a little cleverer and a little trickier than I expected. There are some actual compound angles on some of these, so I could have cheaped out and done just like a flat surface, but there's actually a subtle little curve there, and that makes it so much more difficult. Maybe it wasn't worth it. I'm actually going to take another crack at it. I'm going to try it a little bit different way. I'm going to put this crease maybe here, and see if I can get something a little more pronounced, just in terms of giving the impression that these things undergo a great deal of stress and have the ability to sort of articulate. So I'm gonna hide these. Well, first I'm gonna bring our blueprint back. So, and our isolation here. Oh, did I not isolate it? Did I actually? Oh, but I've named my blueprints now. And this won't be so bad. Okay, so it's just the ones I want for now. And we're going to go ahead and do these. So I'm going to select the ones I've done. I'm going to hide them. And I'm going to take a crack at it again. Maybe I'll end up keeping this pair, who knows. We're going to get our plane. Alt-W to maximize and minimize your viewports. And I'm just middle-clicking in order to put this yellow box around it. There's an indicator that a viewport is selected. So, W again, and I'm just going to drag a plane over this spot. Make sure it has 1x1 width or height segments. You don't 4x4 is the default. You want 1x1. The actual length and width don't matter too much as long as they're in the ballpark of this shape. Now I'm going to hit Alt-X so I can see what I'm doing a little bit. Click on my object, and I'm going to choose Convert to Editable Poly. I'm going to hit 1 for vertex mode, select this vertex and drag it over. Okay, and repeat. So we have a shape that we're content with. Something like this. So before I add these details, this curve and this crease, I want to go over to the other side. So I'm going to select these top two vertices right now. Then I'm going to hit Alt-W. I'm going to come over here to the front view. I hit Alt-W. And you can see I've got my vertices selected, but we can't see our plane because it's it's like a magician's card, right? Perfectly aligned with your vision, so you can't see its edge. Easy fix though. There should only be 4 verts, so it should be really easy to have it now aligned sort of in both views. Right, you can see that I didn't really move it off this view a whole lot. So if it looks pretty good in both views, you know you're pretty much lined up. Now we can start worrying about some topology. So this one could come out a little further forward. I think I will. This time I'm going to pull this one a little further forward. It disagrees a little bit with our version of events up here, but we'll accept that. I do a lot of work with the cut tool, and that's because I don't want to have to use constrain to face or constrain to edge to try and keep things aligned with this. It's already on a diagonal, right? If we look at it here, it's already on a diagonal, and it's already on a little bit of a compound angle, so I don't want to try and follow that and keep things, it'll be very difficult to keep things clean. So rather, if we use our cut tool, we're going to be able to, we're going to have to eyeball things a little bit, but that's alright. We have the blueprints to eyeball from, and we'll be able to keep things cleaner. So I guess we'll start with our top to bottom cut. And one version of these, I went all the way to this corner. I'm just going to come to about here, and I'm going to cut down. And then I'm going to right click, grab my vert, pull it down here. So I imagine these as two different flaps. Yeah, something like that. And now we've got to start thinking about our corner, but before I do that, I want to grab this and actually maybe pull it in quite a bit. Can I get away with that? See, but then it wants to do that. So this comes down here. That's for sure. I think almost maybe it wants to go down. I want to find a way for this to come in a little bit more than it appears to. I'm not really sure. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it kind of forks out. So it's fine, maybe, I guess. Try to keep this line straight at the top. Okay. I'm going to accept that. I almost want more reference imagery, but I'm going to refrain for now. And start plunking in some more of these edges. So with our cut tool, I'm going to try and follow the topology we've established. Follow this flow where it comes down at an angle and then goes over straight. One here too. This one I'm actually gonna have come here and then go straight, and you'll see the reason for that in a minute. It's because we can cut in our what is this detail? This curve, this sort of concave curve. And then I'm probably going to have one more, and let's have it go right through these, because we're going to have to cut circles out to cut these holes into it. I think they're little like perforations, possibly for cooling or something. Okay. And we'll come right up here. Oh, that mattered before when I was worrying about a triangle up here. Huh. Now I'm gonna target weld this. So now it's more like this, and back to our cut tool. That doesn't make any sense either, does it? Well, it could go straight through. There's no reason I can't. I'm making it harder on myself. Okay. So this is going to come up like that. And I guess we can sort of adjust these a little bit. I know I'm messing up the surface, and I'm getting something kind of wonky from this point of view. It's getting kind of ugly, but that's all right. We're going to fix that in a minute. I have a clever trick for that, I think. Let's try this. Try this. Try this. And I think my plan is going to be to use the Make Planar tool on each of these sections. So this is one. Rather than make the whole thing flat, right? I can sort of get the impression of two different panels, even if they're really close to being the same angle. This mess at the top, though, I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to get my scale tool, grab all these, and pull them. Here it's no bueno, right? But I'm going to pull them straight anyway. And then I'm going to get my rotate tool. Wow. I accidentally slipped and clicked and it ended up exactly where I wanted it, so I'll do it again slowly. It was a bit of a happy accident. All right. And what is this mess down here? What are you? Oh, you're the one on the end. Man, that one is just so ornery. If I could, like, bring it in. But I can't. It really wants to be, like, flared out. Fine. Then it gets flared out, I guess. Sure, why not, right? Whatever. So we're just going to live with that. And let's see what that means. Like I said, that makes this whole curve like this strange compound angle. But I don't know. It could be kind of interesting looking in the end. Might be so small detail that nobody notices and they just assume they're flat anyway. If I were sensible, that's what I would have done. I wouldn't be bothering with any of this mess. I would just make it a one flat piece, rotate it into place, and call it done. All right, but sometimes you're going to have shapes that are more complex. So even if you don't want to put the effort into something like this, you're going to find some piece that frustrates you in a similar way. So it can't hurt to steal some ideas from me. Or borrow some of these tips for some similar project. I'm going to exaggerate this curve a little bit. Okay. Said I was going to grab just this one and press the Make Planar button, but I'm not going to do it for the whole thing. And I'm not even making it planar on a specific axis. That would be a really bad idea. Like if I did X or Y, that'd be a mess. I'm just going to do it in general, and that'll make that piece sort of stand out. I'm sort of going to have a little bit of a crease there. In fact, if I turn off the auto smoothing, I think that's going to be visible. Clear all. Now we can see what we're doing a little bit. Okay, so that's really quite dramatic, and we can't have that. So see what we can do about it. That's less so, right? There's still some wonkiness in there, but that's okay. I'm kind of sort of accepting that this is a piece of metal that's a bit warped. So it's kind of the point. Much better, I think. Really minimal adjustment. Had to eyeball some things, but pretty happy about it. So now we just get to our shell. Before we do it, I want to just drop in some edge loops. One at the bottom, one at the back, although I'm going to want to keep these ones kind of apart on this end. You know what? This is another place where the one at the bottom can stay. This swift loop is no trouble for us. We like it. And this one here is probably fine too. Although even that, it's going to be much, much better to cut these in. And I'll show you why in a minute. We can control how close to the edge each one is as we cut it. So up here I would like it pretty close, but not like razor sharp. But down at the end, as long as I follow my flow, I'm going to want this one like really sharp to sort of get that point. And then in the back, I want it really sharp down in this corner. Not like crazy sharp, but like pretty sharp. And then as it comes up to the top, I actually want to soften it. So I'm going to go up to here. I'm going to come out a little bit. And I'm going to put it more like that. Same thing for this. I want it pretty sharp here. And then I'm going to want to come more like this way. And that should turn this into a bit of a rounded surface. Maybe even I get away with a constrained face. Good. Kept it from really coming off. And that means that when we go to turbo with this, that's a little rough, but I think 2 iterations. I think once we have the other edge in there, that'll soften up. So, is that it? I think that's it for this piece. So I know the edge flow looks a little wonky, but I was thinking about doing a crease here, but it actually made more sense to plunk in a couple edge loops. So here's a place where I know I want a really sharp looking edge all the way through. So a couple of really close swift loops are going to be really ideal to create that harsh crease. Even though the surface is near flat there, it is not truly flat. So it should be able to get a little crease in there. Next step, I'm going to add a shell layer. It's just like basically an extrusion. We're going to go a distance of 0.4 on my current scale. I think we were using metric earlier, but now we're not. And that's okay because we've already got our blueprints laid in. And after the shell, we're going to put our open subdiv. 2 iterations. That corner rounded off nicely. These ones all stayed sharp. I got my crease. You know, it's kind of a strange thing. I would have thought it would have gone in, but it kind of flares out. But I'm okay with it. So that's that piece. And the other piece is even easier. So I'm not going to do that one today. What I will do is show how to cut some circles in here. Maybe you're working on a project that has a lot of little tiny details. You know, you've got the big basic fuselage or body shapes done of your car or your aircraft, but you need to get some little tricky bits like the door handle or something like that. So that's probably what I'm going to do next. I'm going to show how to cut in some details like that. But for today, that's enough trouble. Good luck, have fun.